Coming up on Network Africa, Kenya security forces foil a terror attack planned by Somali-based Al-Shabaab militants. "11 people die, hundreds escaped during a jailbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo." And opposition against constitutional reforms grows in Mali as thousands take to the streets. Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Joke Rogers. Let's begin today with a look at major stories that made headlines over the weekend.
The son of deposed Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi has been released by the armed group that took him captive in 2011. According to his lawyer Khalid al-Zaidi, the Abubakar Siddiq Brigade, which was holding him in the western town of Zenton, released Saif al-Islam Gaddafi under an amnesty law passed by a parliament based in eastern Libya. He added that Saif al-Islam could play an important part in national reconciliation efforts because he was popular in Libya and was seen as a savior by several sects. A Tripoli court had sentenced Saif al-Islam to death in 2015 for war crimes, including killing protesters during the revolution. Despite his release, Saif al-Islam is sought by the International Criminal Court, which says his trial in Libya did not meet international standards. Saif al-Islam's whereabouts are currently unknown, his lawyer saying it was being withheld for safety reasons. Also in Libya, Coast Guards recovered the bodies of 8 migrants from an inflatable boat found east of Tripoli on Saturday, with dozens of other migrants feared missing. The ferry was found off the coast of the Libyan town Garibaldi, which lies around 65 kilometers east of the capital, Tripoli. There was no immediate information on how the migrants whose bodies were spotted by fishermen died, or the whereabouts of the other remaining people believed to have been on the boat. The International Organization for Migration said separately that 380 migrants in the 3 rubber boats had been intercepted off Zawiya and brought back to Libya on Friday, and that another 438 were intercepted on Saturday. Elsewhere, Ivory Coast country's President Alassane Ouattara met his counterpart Emmanuel Macron in Paris on Sunday. The Ivorian president is the first African leader to be received at the Élysée Presidential Palace since newly elected centrist Macron took over office on May the 14th. Macron says France, which has 900 French soldiers in Ivory Coast, will reinforce military cooperation, intelligence and military training. Ouattara thanked Macron for his commitment to the Paris climate change agreement after the French leader expressed his support for the accord after US President Donald Trump said the country would be withdrawing from the pact.
The police in Kenya say they've arrested 6 Al-Shabaab members suspected of planning a terror attack in the country. The Inspector General of Police says the 6 had been dispatched by their commanders in Somalia to launch attacks in Kenya. The captured men are being interrogated to establish the extent of the entire network. Police also seized assembled explosives, 4 suicide vests and bomb-making material such as TNT. 2 of the suspects are Kenyans and the others are Somali nationals. In Central Africa, at least 11 people have been killed and 930 prisoners escaped after unidentified assailants stormed a jail in the Democratic Republic of Congo's northeastern town of Beni. The attack is at least the 4th prison break in DR Congo in the last month and underscores how insecurity has grown since President Joseph Kabila refused to step down at the end of his mandate last December. North Kivu Province's Governor Julien Paluku said in a statement that the assailants had used heavy weapons, killing 8 prison guards. Teddy Kataliko, a local activist, says it's not yet clear who had carried out the attack, because many self-defense militias known as Mai groups operate around Beni. About 4,000 inmates escaped the capital, Kinshasa's main high-security prison, last month after an attack blamed on a separatist sect, and at least 3 more escaped from another jail in Kinshasa on Saturday. To diplomatic relations, Guinea's President Alpha Condé has offered to mediate in the crisis between Saudi Arabia, its allies, and the tiny nation of Qatar, with which they have cut ties. President Condé had some successes in helping to resolve regional crises, especially in persuading Gambia's long-time ruler Yahya Jammeh to go into exile this year after losing an election. An official in the presidency confirmed that Mr. Condé and the Guinean president was part of an official delegation of Muslim leaders who traveled to Saudi Arabia during a visit by U.S. President Donald Trump in May. Other African countries such as Chad, Niger and Senegal have recalled their ambassadors to Qatar, while Mauritania has severed ties. In Britain, protesters have held a rally in London's Parliament Square against a possible coalition between Prime Minister Theresa May's Conservative Party and the Northern Ireland's Democratic Unionist Party, DUP. Mrs. May's Conservatives failed to secure an absolute majority in a parliamentary election on Thursday and need the DUP's 10 seats to be sure of being able to form a government. The DUP has refused to give details in public of what concessions it might seek, and it has not responded to a request for comments.